Hello, welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm working on Scraplift Crafternoon. This week we are scrap lifting Lena. I will have her Instagram channel listed below so that you can check out her awesome work. Here is the layout that we are scrap lifting this week. We have a couple of members who are on vacation this week, and I also want to put out there that we will be off this next Sunday, November 24th, for the holiday week. So you'll see us back, I believe it's December 1st, is the first Sunday in December. We'll be back then, but we're all taking a break this coming Sunday. So I hope that you guys will have a great Thanksgiving holiday if you are in the US, and enjoy some yummy food and some friends and family. But let's talk about what we're using here. I'm not sure, but I think Lena's background is a pre-made Vicki Boutin background. I'm not positive though, because also when I look at the picture, it kind of looks like her paper is bent, like she created it herself. Regardless, it is a beautiful mixed media background, and I'm going to try to recreate it with my distress oxides and a stencil. And I have stuff from my November counterfeit kit, and this picture of my youngest daughter and youngest child. This is Emily when she was roughly 3. We were at Silver Dollar City in Missouri for the homeschool days that they have or used to have. I'm not sure if they still do. I have some phrases, some 49 and Market vintage artistry in the leaves, wishing bubbles and trinkets, and some chipboard pieces, as well as a couple of die cut pieces. I also have these fussy cut leaves. I cut them out of a paper snips from Bramble Fox, and so I want to go ahead and use those up. I've got these little tiny flowers from my counterfeit kit. This was a Echo Park chipboard set that I put in my counterfeit kit, as well as a couple pieces of 6x8 patterned paper. These are simple stories. I believe it's Hearth and Home or Home and Hearth or something like that. Anyway, and a Vicki Boutin stencil. So I'm going to pause. We're going to get started with this mixed media, and I'll be right back. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I believe it's ripe persimmon distress oxide, and I'm going to smush it down on this little mat. This is the mat that goes with my Tim Holtz glass mat, and I'm going to use the packaging technique to get some of it on there. Now, I had hoped that it would be a lot richer color than it turned out, but all in all, I do really like how the background ended up coming out. And although this isn't as prominent as the pinks on hers, I still really like the color and that it gave me. And so one of the things that I'm having to do in between steps, because I want to get this done, is I'm using my heat tool off camera to go ahead and get everything done. My green is Forest Moss Distress Oxide, and you can see it is a much richer color than the ripe persimmon was, but it does look really awesome on there. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the brown ink. I'm going to roll it with a paper towel first, and then I'm going to get the brown ink. And I think this is Gathered Twigs. It was kind of a lighter but richer color than what I initially pulled out. I initially pulled out the newest one, the newest brown, Scorched Timber, I think is the name of it. And I just felt like it was going to be too dark. And so I'm putting it all over the green, using my paper towel roll to roll it. And then I will take it off camera and use my heat tool to finish drying it, because I definitely want these colors to dry before I start putting everything on there. So the next step that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to grab one of my distress oxides. I believe this one is Abandoned Coral. I don't have ripe persimmon in this Distress Oxide spray, so I'm just going to make some splatters on the ripe persimmon, and then that'll give it a little bit more color. So I ended up changing my mind about the stencil I wanted to use. I forgot that I had this 12 by 12, the Crafter's Workshop stencil that is a text stencil. I have it in 6 by 6 too, which is a smaller text and might have been more perfect, but I wanted to use this larger one instead, and I'm using Lost Shadow Distress Oxide to put the light gray on there. And to be honest with you, I probably should have used a light brown of some sort, even lighter than the gathered twigs that I used for the background. And you can still see it, but it's just barely. And I wish I would have paid more attention to the outside corners of it. I do feel like this took a lot longer on camera than it was necessary, but I wanted to get as much of the text on there as possible. I wasn't really focusing on the middle. I was kind of just trying to focus on where I had the inking done on the background, as well as on the outside edges, and I was having a little bit of trouble, although I taped it down, of the stencil moving, so I probably should have taped it down a lot better as well. So those are just tips if you try to do this as well, to make sure that you tape your stencil down a little bit better. But you can kind of see it there, and it looks pretty good, and it does stand out more as the day goes on. The color becomes a little bit more vibrant. So off camera, I matted my photo of my daughter with both of the patterned papers, and I focused on putting the yellow right next to the picture, and then added the black print on the outsides just to give it a little bit more pop. I am using quite a bit of chipboard here, and so I will have to use some foam adhesive as I glue things down just to make things level. Like the little circle on top of the tree is not level, and then the fox is not as level as I would like it to be, so I do have to add some foam adhesive behind things. I do love those little floral chipboards. Those are really pretty, and I'm using those in place of like enamel dots or sequins. I'm tucking in some of these leaves from the Bramble Fox paper snips that I had in my kit, and I used them on a very recent layout as well, but I didn't use all of them, and I'm not going to use all of them here either. Now I'm bringing in those wishing baubles from 49 and Market that were also in my kit, and I'm just pulling out a couple of more pieces. That one broke, completely came apart, so I have to get a different one. I don't know that I've had that happen before, and these aren't old product. They're actually brand new to my stash because I got them in that recent 49 and Market mystery box. And I'm going to pull in one of the text pieces and stick it behind, kind of underneath that circle and mushroom. All right, I got my layout completely finished. I'm pretty happy with the way that this turned out. My background isn't exactly like Lena's, but it is pretty close. I love that you have that very light text in the background on hers and on mine. I think she might have used a stamp if she pre-made her background. But anyway, I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. I want to thank you for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and or subscribe. I would love to ask that you check out our playlist listed in my description box below my video so that you can check out the rest of my tribe members who are participating this week and see what they did with this inspiration piece. I hope that you have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye.